Okie dokie. I'm trying to turn it a little bit so you're not distracted. There we go. Is that better? Anyway, I was just about to do this for week 9. I'm only like 4 days late. Try to get all this stuff done on Tuesday, but now it's Sunday afternoon, like is what often happens. It takes a while. Anyway, and then I realized that I hadn't done the video or the overviews and outcomes or the announcement for week 8. Like, oh crap. So here I go, doing 2 in not enough time. And so it's going to be fast. Are you ready? Okay. So week 8, we're looking at client interviews, and I'm trying to like put a lot of words in there for you to understand, like, but I don't want to be a landscaper. Why do I have to know about this? Because this is really the art of listening. I think there are like Dale Carnegie books by that title or something. Like Dale Carnegie was a really successful guy, right? Because this is a hugely important skill set to have, no matter what you do, whether you're a landscaper or probably a hermit. I don't know, maybe that's not the right example. If you deal with people, it's what helps you avoid being a hermit. If you deal with people, this is really good skill set to practice. So I highly recommend, like giving it your all. And then another reason to do that, I'm trying to make sure you guys can hear me, is because all of these bits and pieces of like doing the landscape design and then coming up in week 9, looking at different landscape design software programs, are things that you may want to use, like the programs and or these questionnaires that you're going to make. Oh yeah, you're going to make a questionnaire, by the way, after critiquing others in the final landscape project. Like, I think that's week 10, it's coming up, that y'all get to choose whether you want to work with other people in class or if you want to do it on your own. I recommend working with other people. Then it's a lot less work, honestly. It's just a little bit of extra communication required. I think there's another saying, not a Dale Carnegie one, like, African proverb. Such a weird notion. If you want to go far, if you want to go fast, walk alone. If you want to go far, walk together. Same kind of thing. Like, you might get stuff done faster, but you're not going to have as rich of an experience or probably as strong of a design at the end. But that's not till week 10. But all these pieces that we're doing, like the landscape questionnaire, doing the base mapping and then map overlays, all that kind of stuff, soil analysis, looking at water patterns, is all designed to be part of your final project. It's not just random stuff that I'm giving you to do busy work. It's bits and pieces of the puzzle that you'll put together at the end. So the more time you put into it now, the less time you have to put into it later. So give your future self, the one that's freaking out about finals, in a couple of weeks, that's like, what, I have to write all these 40-page papers and whatever. Give that future self the gift of investing the time now so that it's a little bit less work later on. That's my recommendation as someone who's old and has a strong history of procrastination. Don't do what I do what I say. Okay, so back to the stuff that you really do need to know. Client interviews. Here's some examples. Like, this is just, I think it was kind of a weird sort of salesy site, but I thought that the questions were actually valuable. Just ignore the end that's like, sign up for my course or whatever it was. And then these were different examples of client questionnaires that I could find online. You guys will be in groups to critique those questionnaires and then respond to each other's comments. And then you'll make your own. It's going to be so fun. Don't you love it? And then the soft chalk this week is the super rosids. I just love it when they put that little super in front. In fact, I just edited that to add the super because I'm pretty sure that we're going to talk about the super asterids and the super rosids. And I think that these are the two big branches of the eudicots. And I think that the old term of asterids and roses has been replaced because of new taxonomy. But you may, if this is something you care at all about, want to double check that the term super rosids is actually accurate for what I'm referring to there. Or skip it and ignore it and be fine with it. Either way, it's all good. But this is the beginning of the Malvids as opposed to the Fabids, which we were working on before. And the Malvids are a very nice group. I think the part 2 Malvids in week 9 will talk about the Malvaceae family, which is really sweet and wonderful. In fact, a lot of the Malvids are quite sweet and wonderful and lovely. It's a really nice group of plants. This week we have our first draft of your plant family tree. And I can't even remember, guys. I did this a while ago, but all the instructions are right there with a rubric. I know, I should open it up. Okay, let's do it. Just so slow when my computer's slow. And I just hate the slow right now when time is so scarce. Super scarcity consciousness. Like, no, I'm not following the guru's advice very well, am I? Here we go. So you see, it's a tree. This is one I took a picture of because it's from this wonderful book. It's a little out of date, 2006, but it is a fantastic book. Like if you can get your hands on a used copy, buy it because they'll be in shorter and shorter supply. I found it to be very useful. It doesn't have all the plants that we cover, all the families that we cover, but the ones that we do, it's really, really wonderful. There's another book I'm going to recommend to you at the end too, that it's Haywood, 2007. It's a big, thick book, and they are getting more and more challenging to find because it's also out of print, but it's a fabulous book. It's Flowering Plant Families of the World, hardcover. It's awesome. Okay, so here's another one that I found online from there. What I want you to do is have some version of this. I mean, you can hand draw one of these. It's fine. I don't care. But you may notice that this is just the eudicots, I think. Yeah. The eudicots and then the magnolians. But we have more plants than that. So you need to have all the plants on our list included there. Here's other ways to do it. Okay, so that's not just to make a tree, but you have to do some representation of the family relationships here. To make this easier. Okay, so these are sorted alphabetically. I gave you that list. That was good of me to do that, huh? There's an extra period. Just ignore that because I'm not going to take the time to fix it right now. Drawings or pictures. Oh, dude. 60 of them. 39 orders represented. Oh, I know that this is just supposed to be a draft of all of them. Plants one, okay, sorry, see, it's been a while, through 110. So we have 200 plants. So anyway, you got to have plants 1 through 110 on that, on represented on here. Anyway, families, that's what I thought. Yes, okay, I'm relieved. I was like, what? That's going to be really busy. The families of all the plants from 1 through 110 on there. Okay, if it seems like I'm a little crazy and distracted, it's just because I can hear my 5-year-old shouting from the bathtub right now, which is much improved from screaming, literal screaming that was happening like 15 minutes ago. So I ignore them to get more work done. Sorry, kids. This semester will be over soon, and then I'll get back to being a good mom. TMI. Okay, there we go. So that's an assignment. It's just 10 points. That's little, but it's just an opportunity to practice this so that when the final one comes due, I can't remember when that is, it's in the syllabus, that you've got some comments, you've tried to like work on it, you've gotten my comments and critiques, and then you can consider those and then do I think it's a 30 point at the end, so it's all in all together like a 40-point assignment. Then getting to know the plants, of course, like we always do, and I'm really hustling to try to get these posted, so it's very, very helpful when you do them on time, because sometimes I just have like a tiny window to try to like take the links from your assignments and then put them in here, which also means if you put them on the list, then people have access to them, which is helpful. And then Justin Robinson, Botany Bay, he's an interesting character. I hope you appreciate what he has to say. Plant profiles, there we go. And then done, we will all be celebrating that. Now let me quickly go. He's just shouting and shouting, and it's making me crazy. I sure hope you're not hearing that. I'm going to read these for you now, and then I'll be done. So first, we have 111, aloe vera. I bet everybody knew how to pronounce that one. Alstroemeria, hybrids of Alstroemeria, which is a wonderful plant, super easy to grow, amazing thing for cut flowers, and highly overlooked. And sometimes, you know, people are like, oh, it's Alstroemeria. Like, it's a great, great plant to grow. I think it's much undervalued and will see a surge of its use in landscapes. People are getting really into cut flowers and really into their own landscapes and mini agriculture, mini flower farms, mini farming, all that kind of stuff. Micro farming is what I meant. So we'll see more people interested. Artemisia californica, sagebrush, not a sage at all, because you'll notice that it's in the Asteraceae and not in the it's not in the Salvia genus, which are the sages. It's not in the Lamiaceae, which is the family for the sages. Canna hybrids, so lots of different hybrids of canna. Carex, comins. We have so many native sedges, but Plant California Alliance, like what is up with them? Why do they choose something from New Zealand when we have wonderful sedges all over California that are in production? I don't get it. Anyway, Centaurea cineraria, Dusty Miller. That's a fun one. It's kind of grayish. It's pretty. Clivia miniata, one thing that blooms like crazy in the shade. And years ago, I learned it was one of the only plants that blooms in the shade. And like, you know what? Now I know that's BS, but it still is a very dependable bloomer in pretty heavy shade. Some of the yellow varieties and the newer varieties are like $900 a plant. Maybe not anymore because they're a little more common, but when they came out, it was even more money than that. It was, I don't know what, like, I guess super wealthy people just wanted to show off that they had, like, look at it's brand new and look at how much money I spent on it, which is something I don't really understand, but otherwise I don't know why people would do that. Coreopsis grandiflora, digitalis purpurea, just a super lovely cut flower. Origeron carvinskianus, Santa Barbara daisy, native, I think, yeah. Origeron versus Eriogonum. Try to say those 10 times fast and keep it straight. Eriogonum fasciculatum, which is absolutely a native and a wonderful native in the landscape. California buckwheat, super cool. I have no idea how to pronounce this, so let's see. Maybe one of you can help. Gaillardia? Sure, right? Grandiflorus hybrids. Grandiflora hybrids, Gara, Lindheimeri, Siskiyou pink from the Siskiyou area. I believe it's also then a California native. Geranium sanguineum, so sangre, sanguine. I think we had recently, at least I put one on the quiz that's coming up in week 9. Sanguineum, ribes sanguineum. So sanguineum describes like that red blood color, although it's really a pink in the ribes, but I don't know, whatever. So that's the bloody cranespill. That's going to be a very popular plant with vampires and goth people. Helboris orientalis, which is a lovely, lovely plant that if you look on like House or whatever else, they're like, oh no, you can't grow this. Landscape professionals say, you can't grow this in zone 10B. It's, you know, which is a lie. I should show you the dozens I have around here, but I won't show you how much money I spent to get those dozens and dozens of hellebores because I killed a lot of them and they are expensive and beautiful. But they don't want the deep, deep shade that you would think if you looked online for them. They are very happy growing in the dappled shade of rose beds, surprisingly enough. They can handle a lot more sun than you'd think from looking online, but they're gorgeous things. Hemerocallis, daylily, different hybrids of those. Heuchera, and there we have that sanguinea, which tells you a little bit about the color of either leaves or flowers, so it's going to have some reddish colored stuff. Called coral bells, used to be called alum root, and one of the species that does not grow here is used for alum. Something to know about heuchera is check. There are different tribes of the heucheras, and some of them really do not do well here at all, and others thrive. And I can't remember the names of them. If you look on Annie's Annuals, I think she actually calls out some of the cultivar names that do well, and that's where I became familiar with that, and I've had much better luck with those plants now, and they're really nice. These ones do well in shade. Have I gone over? Oh, I did. Oh, excuse me. We're only going up to Hemerocallis. Okay, just kidding. Well, that's enough for now. Bye.